Civic Center Park, Denver's downtown landmark, spiraled out of control for months before it was closed to the public. Tonight, we have internal city email showing that police were warned months ago that park staff were overrun by crime. Civic Center's popular food truck events were ended early due to crime. And behind the scenes, the city and downtown power players were trying to figure out how to contain the park's problems from spilling into nearby streets when it was closed. Here's Marshall Zellinger.
This is as close as you'll get inside Civic Center Park for now. It's closed as part of a public health order.
Between Pioneer, McIntosh Plaza, and this park, we were finding hundreds of needles every day.
Temporary fencing is around the park, and based on emails obtained by 9 Wants to Know, emails revealing discussions ahead of the park's closure, there's a reference to a permanent wrought iron fence.
We're not spending anything right at this point for a wrought iron fence.
Deputy Parks Director Scott Gilmore told me the park is not going to have a mansion-like fence put around it.
We have not really discussed fencing this whole park, but we have discussed possibly trying to put some wrought iron fencing in strategic locations around the historic structures.
There's another email from the Parks Department asking for security for the contractor repositioning the security cameras in the park. The city was concerned for their safety.
At the table just next to me, I saw somebody, come over and inject something into their arm. 10 years of producing Civic Center Eats, being down there 60 plus days a year, I had never seen that sort of interaction.
Eric Lazari of the Civic Center Conservancy runs Civic Center Eats, the lunchtime food truck event during the summertime. In an August email, he wrote, "We will be ending Eats on September 2nd this year for a variety of reasons, but the fact that Civic Center is not safe is high among them."
We can certainly get into conversations about safe being a word that means a lot of different things to a lot of people, but I think most people who came to Civic Center this summer felt uncomfortable in some way, shape, or form.
Then there's the email from the Denver Art Museum just before the park's closure was announced. The museum was uncomfortable about what it called the migration that would follow a park closure. People moving over to the museum area just as national media come to town for a big event in October. The museum told us today it was simply concerned for the health and safety of staff and guests. These internal emails to and from city officials show there was longtime concern about crime and health hazards in the park and worry that closing the park will just send those problems elsewhere.
So there was planning for that. So these emails show that before the park was closed, the nonprofits that'll bring food for folks who are homeless there in the park, that there was a deal made between the city and the state that the state would not allow those nonprofits to feed people right across the street.
There's an email from a person who runs the Capitol complex at the state that runs Lincoln Veterans Memorial Park between Lincoln and Broadway, and that email talks about how they wouldn't permit charitable food functions, meaning you wouldn't give a permit to people who want to give food to the homeless in that area. I found out only one permit was recommended or asked for, but then they turned it down because they didn't want to pay the permit fee. So it didn't do anything really.
So these internal emails also show that the organizers of the 9 News Parade of Lights were strongly encouraged by the city to either cancel this year's parade or move it somewhere else.
That was a surprising email to see, and I spoke with Sharon Alton, who runs the parade for the Downtown Denver Partnership, and she told me that nothing is changing, at least having the parade. They permit the park to keep it closed for other purposes. They need that space for the park, but they don't use the park. They use Bannock and they use downtown streets. The only thing that is changing is no grandstands this year, but that's not because of safety at the park. That's because of COVID reasons.
Gotcha. We had a different parade last year for COVID issues as well. Marshall, thank you.